What's up, world? I'm back with another Spread the Love Sunday for you. This one is going out to a new show. You know, it's been on for a couple weeks. That is on the CW. Oops. And me and my mom and my sister all watch it, and I love it. It's so good. The show is Riverdale. Riverdale. If you don't know what Riverdale is, it is based on the Archie comics that have been around for years. I'd go to the store, I used to stand in the checkout line, you know, while my mom's checking the, stuff out. I would stand there because they had them in the side things at the checkout stand. And so I'd stand there and I'd be reading these Archie comics. They had like Archie's Weird Mysteries, the old cartoon. Loved that. But so this new show, Riverdale, it's based on the Archie comics, but it doesn't follow it directly, obviously, because there's so many different stories for that. But basically, the premise of the show, basically, one of the residents of Riverdale, Jason Blossom, twin brother of Cheryl Blossom, was found murdered. He went missing on the 4th of July, and then they found him later. And so it's a lot darker than the Archie comics are, but it's really good. I really enjoy it. KJ Appa, I believe is how you pronounce it, his last name, plays Archie Andrews, and me and my sister were saying that it's so funny that they got such an attractive, muscular type of guy to play Archie, because in the comics he's kind of awkward and a little gangly, so I just think that's funny. But he does a pretty good job. Apparently he had to dye his hair a lot for it because it would keep coming back, so he had to keep dyeing it red again. Lily Reinhart plays Betty Cooper. She does a pretty good job. I mean, it's been forever since I've read the Archie comics, but there's the core four: Archie, Betty, Veronica, and Jughead. And so Camila Mendes plays Veronica Lodge. When I first saw her on the show, I was like, she looks really familiar. Have I seen her in something before? No, she hasn't been in that much. Just this show. So I was like, well, everybody in Hollywood has that doppelganger, And then Cole Sprouse plays Jughead Jones, and it was pretty good casting. I'm really glad that because in the comics, Jughead wears this crown, and since the show, is a little bit darker, they can't, it'd be a little bit odd to have this character who has just this crown on his head all the time. But so in the show, he wears this, I think it's a beanie, I'm gonna say it's a beanie, all the time, and the beanie, the rim of the beanie is in the shape of a crown, but it's very subtle. I didn't see it at first until my sister pointed it out. I was like, oh, yay, because that's one of his most distinguishing features is that crown in the comics. And he also loves food. He's always eating in the comics, and so they kind of hint at that a little bit, I think. A couple of comments he makes about food and, well, I'm eating if you're paying, kind of a thing. Also, I think it's the first episode, it might be the second episode, I can't remember, when Veronica calls Archie, she calls him Archiekins, and I was like, because that's in the comics, she calls him Archiekins a lot. And then I think he called her Ronnie, or Betty called her Ronnie, I don't remember, but that's also in the comics. Ronnie is one of her nicknames, but I was like, yay, stuff from the comics is happening. One thing that I find really funny, though, is that Archie's dad, Fred, is played by Luke Perry on the show, but in the comics, Archie's dad is kind of this bigger guy, I believe. And so me and my sister were both just kind of like, oh, that's funny, because that's not what he looks like, in the comics. I'm trying to find a picture. Sorry, my hair's all. I took a shower this morning. Yeah, because in the comics, his dad is a little bit plumpier, and he has got like no hair right here, just on the sides. So getting Luke Perry, I don't know, it's kind of funny. Also, one of my biggest things, I kind of was going off about this the other night. Miss Grundy, okay? On the show, she's this young, attractive woman who's a music teacher, but in the comics, she's an old woman with white hair. And so when that happened on the show, when she was introduced in the first episode of Miss Grundy, I was like, wait a second. No. I was going off, and it's even worse because I don't want to get into too spoilery of territory here, in case anyone hasn't seen it. I mean, I don't know if it's really spoiling it or not, what I was gonna say, but it's okay. I won't say it. But I think they're delving a little bit into that type of thing on the next episode on Thursday. In the promo, I think it showed a picture of an old woman with white hair, and they were saying, oh, Geraldine Grundy, she died this many years ago, and it's like, it's not the real Miss Grundy. So that'll be exciting to see that happens. So yeah, so I love this show. It's really good so far. It's definitely nothing like the comics were, but it's okay. I really enjoy it. It's on Thursday nights, CW. I believe it's at 9. It's either 8 or 9. I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I really, really enjoy it. I hope that, the ratings go up or stay up. I don't know what the ratings are at right now. Fingers crossed for season 2. Don't know what they'll do in season 2, I guess we'll have to keep your fingers crossed, hope it gets renewed, and then find out what they might do. Yeah. So to everyone who's working on Riverdale, actors, crew members, directors, writers, everybody, thank you for creating such a great show. I really, really enjoy it. I can't wait till Thursday for the new episode. So keep up the fantastic work.